I know what you mean. And I love the fact that I have that relationship over there, that if something like that comes up, that I know me, and we can have an open line of communication. Yeah, Ferguson got right back with you at the end of the day, so he was quick to give me all the information. Good to see you. Good to see you. We're a little crowded here.
That's why we picked this like it.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, yeah, from Rick Rass. No, that was, good school. Yeah, I had Rick on this Heritage Code Park. We had for years. Yeah, yeah, it's done.
Hey Matt, how you doing?
Hey, we're it tonight. There's three of us.
Only three?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good, sir. How are you tonight?
Fantastic.
Good.
I'm gonna make,
What's that?
I'm gonna make a request
Sure.
to reverse the order
Okay.
because this one is all on the boats.
Is
Right?
what?
All on the boats, the size and how many and da,
Yeah.
right? This one says the planning staff can't make any decisions.
Right.
So if we vote on this, and then for some reason we say they can't make any decisions, that invalidates the top.
Okay.
So that's why I was thinking reversing it to back up what they can do, and then go into
So,
what they did.
so this is what they told me so far tonight, and that's that, first of all, one of the applicants is likely to back out because we only have a three-person board. The other one is they expect both attorneys to present before we actually start any public hearing on either appeal.
Oh, okay.
So that we're kind of making one out of it.
Well, I did a lot of homework.
Ah, there's a lot here. Yes, sir. Wow.
No. No, it's just my calculation. You know, I probably shouldn't be discussing this now because I'll be at the meeting.
Yeah, that's fine. And all I was talking about is the general operation of the meeting. It has nothing to do with decisions.
Oh, I understand. I was talking more about,
Specific subject matter?
well, the first one. What I
Okay.
came up with.
All right.
And it basically came to 3 votes. Here.
Yes, sir.
Did he print off any more copies of this?
I think just the one.
Oh, you just got the one.
If you'd like to make a copy. Ah,
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Do you want a copy of the letter that Claire's gonna read off to address everyone tonight?
Sure, yeah.
It's just a little bit of a brief history. of
Yeah.
what we have.
Thank you.
Yes.
I never heard of that. That's
You
very
know,
thoughtful.
I looked up in my sailing book, I looked at Chapman, I looked in, Postman. They all talk about capacity, they don't tell you how to figure it. Here it's there.
Very nice. We could have called my brother.
You sailor?
Yeah, Annapolis. So he ended up with his master's in marine architectural engineering, and he knows a bit about boats.
Oh, yeah, you can wrap my ears around my head on that one.
No.
That's,
He doesn't wrap your ears around anything, but he knows some facts and
oh, yeah.
some good information.
Yeah. You sail?
No,
Motor?
nope. Yeah. I thought about getting a pontoon for the kids, but I haven't ever been into boating.
That's probably, you know, the old expression, if you enjoy standing in the shower, throwing $20 bills down the drain,
Yeah.
you'd be good for voting.
Yeah. Yeah, I've thought about it before, but I just haven't ever, I've never jumped off and done that.
There's still time.
Yeah, there's plenty of time.
Oh, yeah.
We will at some point, but we just got, I couldn't justify right now, you know, spending that kind of money and not being able to use it that much.
Apparently lights are on right now.
Okay.
That is remote, and
Okay.
let us know that. Here's another copy of
Sure.
what will be.
Did you get one of these? You're welcome to that. That's the text that Claire expects to read. And Matt's got a copy, so yeah, we're good.
Eight cottages. Eight. Huh. This is town.
Yeah, I don't know. We can ask.
Well, I wouldn't. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, if it proceeds tonight, if you want to make comments, just comment. If I have the,
How old are your children?
Almost 3 and almost 1.
Wow.
You got time to get a vote.
I got my hands full right now.
Yeah.
This is a great time, though.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I will make the same appeal to you that I did not do it. I'm sorry I didn't do it. Especially when they're like 3 years old or so, they're becoming aware of the world. They'll name things and describe things, which is so beautifully fresh, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Write them down because you'll forget them.
Yeah.
I've
Good
got a couple
advice.
of my daughter, you know, that I remembered,
Right?
but she would come out with these things. Yeah, I know exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah.
But it's so, the resort, this one, here at Acme,
Yeah.
well, you can see that from the, she used to call that the tall city.
Tall city.
And makes sense.
Why
Yeah.
not?
But write those things down because they're precious.
Yeah, that's a good
They're
point.
precious.
Yeah, my daughter, she throws stuff out there all the time like that.
Their brains are little sponges.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah, sometimes it's not that very good either.
Yeah.
It comes out at the wrong time. Yeah, yeah, there was a few times in front of my mother-in-law, and she'd say, well, you know, my daddy.
I'm sure you're forgiven.
Well, yeah, I was just a humming.
That's great.
because it won't have as. Exactly, yeah, because that's the problem. You'll have to-
So Preston's going to be taking roll call on any issues that we
Oh,
bring up tonight.
I just realized Leslie's not here either.
Yeah. Job description just get a lot bigger.
It's a good thing.
Yes. Sure.
hold on that request?
What's that?
Should I hold on that request for the person?
I think so, because it seems like it's going to go the way you want it to anyhow.
All right, well, I'll just let it ride.
Okay. Great thought, though. What?
Oh, we are?
Right. Ready?
Yep.
All set, Paul?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, good evening, everybody. It's 6:30, and it's time to call a November 16th regular meeting of the East Bay Charter Township Zoning Board of Appeals meeting to order. May we please have a roll call?
Roll call, Dave Hausman.
Present.
Lindsay Wolf, absent, excused. Carl Stasinski, absent, excused. Matt Cook.
Here.
Paul Gonzalez.
Here.
All right, and regarding tonight's agenda, we'll review for conflict of interest. Does anybody have a conflict or potential thereof on any of tonight's agenda items? Hearing none, we'll ask for approval of the agenda, please.
Move to approve the agenda of November 16th, 2021.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passed. Approval of the minutes from our 10/12/2021 regular minutes and site visit minutes.
I move to approve the minutes of the, both the site visit as well as the regular minutes of the October 12th, 2021 board meeting.
I just want to make a comment. I wasn't at the site visit. So is there a way for me to abstain from approving that part of the minutes?
Even if you weren't at the site visit, you could still approve.
Okay. All right, support.
Okay, moved and supported. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passed. And at this time, we have an opportunity for public comment for any items that are not on tonight's agenda. If anybody has comments, you're welcome to step up to the lectern. All right, hearing none, we will move on to Claire, who will tell us something about this evening's appeals. Claire Carner, thank you.
Good evening. So just wanted to provide quick history on Lakemore. It's been in front of the Planning Commission a fair amount over the past several years. Recently for site plan review, so it's located on Arbutus Lake. It's considered a cabin court, and it was first approved in 2018. The 8 cottages replaced the former Max Landing Resort, which operated since the 1960s. An amended site plan was reviewed and approved by the Planning Commission in June of 2021. So that's the most recent time it came before the Planning Commission. So the site plan decision of the Planning Commission is not being appealed tonight. So that's not part of this appeal. However, an administrative decision related to the continuation of boat usage at the resort is being appealed. So that's the topic of tonight's discussion and deliberation. So tonight, both applicants are seeking to appeal the decision of the zoning administrator, who determined in a letter, which was dated July 19th of 2021, that the Lakemore Resort can continue to operate 630 square feet of boats, or approximately 3 average-size pontoon boats.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to interrupt you here, and I hate to do that here.
That's okay.
Because I'm not sure that you know that Mr. McKellar, who represents Lakemore, doesn't wish the hearing to go forward, so I don't want you to go too far into your
Okay.
presentation, because you'll have to redo it before the
Okay.
full ZBA. I just want you to
Okay,
know that.
good to know. So the appeal 9-21 is proceeding, and 8-21
No,
is...
they're both because
Oh.
both attorneys wish to have
Okay.
their information before the full ZBA, because the full ZBA will be deliberating and making a decision.
Okay.
And I'll have both attorneys will be invited up to explain that in a moment.
Okay, sounds good. Is there going to be any discussion of the issue
What
tonight?
we'll have is a public comment, which still remains on the agenda here, so that people who otherwise may not be able to attend a future meeting on these topics can identify themselves, what their position is, and have their public comment heard and preserved as part of the record on both appeals.
Okay, sounds good. So I'll just give you a little background on how staff came to our administrative determination. So we took a look at some evidence. It included an affidavit from Tricia Adams, who, on behalf of the family that purchased Lakemore Resort from Max Landing. They stated that there was 9 fishing boats that were acquired when the property was purchased from Max Landing that are continuing to be in use. And so looking at aerial photography and, sizing up the fishing boats, basically that was the basis for the determination. So we looked at the 9 fishing boats, what square footage those took up. And the administrative decision was basically that Lakemore can continue to operate boats within that square footage. So that could be 3 pontoon boats, that can be 9 fishing boats, that can be, X number of canoes and kayaks, but that was the basis for the determination that's being appealed tonight. So I think that's probably the most kind of background that would be helpful for you as you hear some of this public comment.
Thank you.
Chairman, I'd like to ask at this point for first, I guess, Attorney Mr. McKellar to make his request formally on the record before the ZBA.
All right, yes.
Good evening. Earlier today, we received information that there'd be a 3-member board. I did not receive that information until about 11 o'clock this morning. I think it might have been sent out earlier than that, but I was unavailable in the woods. And I contacted my clients. We met previously to this meeting, and I contacted Preston Taylor and Claire prior to the meeting, indicating that we would like this in front of the full ZBA for review. I think it probably deserves that attention. So I don't mean to waste anyone's time, but I think it makes sense, and I can see the sense that the opposition also probably feels the same way. So we're going to make an official request to move that, and all of our
items in support of our application and in opposition to theirs is already of record, so it should be just a matter of a new meeting. So I appreciate everyone's time and the opportunity to schedule this on behalf of my clients in front of the full board. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Chairman, also like to give Attorney Gail McGregor an opportunity to speak on the topic as well.
Yes, please.
Good evening. Gail McGregor on behalf of the PFL, Protect Forest Lake, Association, who has also appealed the administrative decision. We are fully prepared to go forward tonight, but we did receive the email from Claire yesterday that there would only be a 3-member board. We thought that Lakemore may want to postpone for the full board, so it's something that we did think about as well. After some deliberation this evening, we have decided also to present at the same meeting that Lakemore presents. So I know that there are folks here that traveled to get here tonight, and I know that there may be people that want to speak to the issue, but we would like to preserve our ability to make a presentation at the next meeting, and I request that I get the meeting information from the township, and we go from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, since there are people here who have traveled, and certainly we want to hear what each of you has to tell us, we will ask Mr. Taylor to give us some guidelines for tonight's comments, and then we'll proceed.
A little different than initially planned. I would just ask that whoever wishes to speak on the 2 appeals that were going to be heard, that when you come up to the microphone, identify yourself, where you reside, and/or who you might represent, and then what appeal that you are going to be speaking to. You may speak to both, but one opportunity to speak. And in the interest of time, also trying to keep it to roughly a 3-minute time frame.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, and the only thing I'd like to add to it is make sure everybody understands they're not obligated to speak. They will have an opportunity, if they come to the next meeting, to do so as part of the public hearing. So I just want to make sure everybody is aware of that who's here tonight, that there still will be a public hearing on these appeals. Just not tonight.
Thank you. With all of that in mind, at this time, we will open this up to the public and entertain any comments that you'd like to present to us. So whoever would like to be first, please step up to the lectern, tell us who you are, where you reside, who you're representing, if anybody, and let us know what you want us to know. All right. That's quicker than I expected. At this point, there's really nothing for the board to discuss. We'll simply reschedule these appeals at the same time, and we'll discuss and possibly act on your appeals at that time.
I have just one question. If the ZBA wanted to go ahead and kind of discuss timing for the rescheduling, because I know the ZBA has a pretty full docket for the upcoming December meeting. You're going to be hearing the appeal for the TC Water Sports.
Is it something we can discuss with the attorneys present, where we decide if this is going to be a special meeting or if we need to put it off into the future?
I think probably get input from applicant as to whether they're looking for a special meeting. Otherwise, maybe speaking with staff as to whether it would be a January meeting.
I think this is something that staff could probably handle as far as the meeting date and be in communication with the attorneys.
Okay.
And to make sure that they have availability on whatever date is chosen. The township's very good at working with the public and those that are presenting these matters. I'm sure they'll be able to work out a date that works for everybody.
Okay, so no further discussion this evening, and we'll close this at this point, and we'll move on to reports.
the township board report, not a whole lot of content from last week's meeting. There was a naming, approving some naming for some roads for a new apartment complex there on South Airport and Town Line Roads. We did move to change the zoning ordinance to eliminate cabin courts. I don't know, I may need to wait until things quiet down here for a second.
That's fair.
Must be something you said.
Yeah, I'm running everybody off.
Just so you know, I'm not on the clock anymore, but I'll wait.
And then the bulk of our conversation at last week's board meeting was around budgets, salary planning for township staff. So there was a significant amount of time spent on that, and that was kind of the meeting. That was it.
Thank you. What happened at the Planning Commission, sir?
A lot. Actually, we approved an amendment request to reduce the number of parking spaces requirement for the proposed Avon Hotel, which is going to be on 31 in the old Wendy's area. Went from 92 parking spots down to 86, and that was approved. And then the second was a site plan review of a potential apartment complex of 192 units called the Brigantine Apartments. And so we had that review.
And where is that potentially located?
It's going to be on, between Vanderlip Road and, let me see, Vanderlip and, Vanderlip 31 and, can never remember the name of the street.
That's all right.
4 Mile? Is it 4 Mile?
No, not 4 Mile,
Okay.
but it's, yeah, it is 4 Mile. You're
Okay.
right.
Okay, great.
Thank you. See the audience out there. One of my colleagues is there, so.
And was that?
That was our whole
bulk of it?
item, yeah.
Thank you, sir. And at this time, we have an opportunity for public comment. If anybody wishes to comment on any topic at all, this is your opportunity. All right, hearing none, at this time, we will adjourn. Have a good evening, everyone.